Hi, I'm Amy of Aimee Joyce London. We're a fashion label based in Notting Hill. So we specialise in bespoke pieces, but also ready-to-wear range. We're now about 3 years into the business and looking to open our first store, permanent store, on Westbourne Grove. So I've never known any different. I've always, ever since I was 6, I was drawing dresses, sat at the restaurant dinner table on napkins, and it's the only thing I've ever wanted to do. And everything I've ever done up until this point has been with the purpose of being a fashion designer. I always knew that I wanted my own label. I wanted the independence and the freedom to make decisions. I think the fact that I prepared myself in knowing that it was going to be complicated, it was going to be testing at times, there were going to be mixed emotions about things. But I've always been a very optimistic person in telling myself that certain obstacles have been put in the way in order to challenge me and force me to think outside the box, to force me to maybe switch on that survival mode every now and again. But at the end of the day, I get to do what I love. And when you weigh up those pros and cons, it's a total no-brainer to myself. So, but no, there have been challenges, but it's also about ensuring that you have the right team, the right people around you. Because in your darkest moments or hardest times, those are the ones that uplift you and motivate. To have people that believe in your vision as well as you. I'm extremely grateful for the people I have, for the people that have been with me on this journey. So I've never approached things from a seasonal perspective. Everything's always generally been just a natural reflex and a natural progression of maybe how I'm feeling in that moment, what I've experienced. But I've always approached my drawings and my creations from an attitude perspective of the kind of energy that I want to create within a piece. Generally, my approach is very much of this unapologetic energy, fearless but still feminine, but strong. And those perfect ingredients that I believe that create the qualities of a femme fatale woman. But I generally approach everything with how is she going to feel in this piece? What kind of energy do I want to create with this garment? But overall, I've always levitated towards maybe using fabrics that shouldn't necessarily be put together and finding a nice balance within that. And I think that's what makes my pieces individual, is understanding that balance and proportions and things like that, and playing with different eras and somehow making them work together and feel contemporary. So I wanted to create evening wear that offered versatility. So a few of the pieces that I've done in the past have had a similar concept. So this actually consists of 3 pieces. So you have the corset, you have the drape, the detachable drape, and the tulle skirt. So within one look, it offers you an array of different options. And I think that was very much me being conscious of the women of today. So even though we offer something that is, could be something from maybe back in the 40s, it still is very relevant to the women of today and offering that versatility that we need. For the first time when we showcased the drape, we actually had a black velvet version with a different style top. We had the black skirt and then the black velvet drape. And a lot of people inquired specifically about the drape. And I was trying to understand, what is it that people are drawn to in this drape? And what I understood actually is that it offers that kind of 1950s, 40s glamour, but then it has that more contemporary feel because you can team it with maybe a pair of black cigarette pants with a white shirt, but then you can also dress it up for the evening. So I think what it's taught me is that women want that versatility. They want options. And again, with the bodice, it's an eraser back as opposed to the kind of predictable sweetheart neckline. So I think she encompasses many qualities of who the Aimee Joyce London woman is. So with challenges, I generally have a lot of issue with delegating. I think when something is your baby, only you know what's best for it, especially in the phase of development early on. And so delegating is something that I'm still probably yet to develop on myself. I think being a perfectionist in understanding what I want to create and do, it makes delegating very difficult, and you end up having to wear all the hats. When talking about things aligning, I met Selvi, who works with me, during apprentice at Ralph and Russo, and I believe massively that our paths were supposed to potentially cross in that moment of time. And you know, this is someone that believes in the brand almost as much as I do. And you know, I think surrounding yourself with the right individuals through very challenging times and having the right people in your life is imperative. And I think anyone that doesn't understand the vision or doesn't want to join in, it's very important to remove any negative energy that could potentially compromise the progression of a brand, or even as an individual as yourself. But I think when you find good team members, you look after them and you nurture them, because they're very hard to come by. So I moved to Milan when I was 18 to work in fashion, so I've always been within fashion since then. But moving to Milan at the age of 18 and being thrown into the fashion world, there was parts of it that I didn't feel okay with. The hierarchies within companies I didn't agree with. I'm very much about it, you know, it's a team, and that energy has to run through a company. You know, everyone's experience and knowledge is valuable. Everyone should count, and that's something that the fashion industry I didn't feel that, and for a while it put me off. But then if this is my passion, then maybe it's my purpose to do things slightly differently, and not let it, you know, totally veer me away from something that I feel so passionately for. Maybe it just actually does give me a purpose to do things slightly differently. And I think empathy, you know, leading a lot of things with empathy at the forefront of things, that's how I do things. And I think there needs to be a bit more of it in the fashion industry. One of my highlights would be very much actually where I am at the moment. So we're opening a store on Westbourne Grove, and we're opening it with like-minded creatives that, I mean, are absolutely extremely talented at what they do, and they've agreed to be part of this store that has been created off the back of, you know, my vision, and to have like-minded individuals believe in something enough to put their name to it also. I think that's a massive accomplishment. And as a result, we look to create a retail space that is more of an incubator style environment for creatives, and a more experiential as opposed to just simply garments on a rail. Recently I've been reaching out to other individuals to discuss potential events and talks that we can hold within the store, and actually to have them agree and want to be part of it has been such a blessing, actually. To young emerging designers would be to really stay true to yourself, to really understand who is this woman you're creating thoroughly, inside out. I think the only way you can really understand that well enough is by eliminating any of these other voices and opinions outside of your own. And the second you really cement who this woman, who this individual, what's this community you want to create around it, really home in on that, really, you know, spend a lot of time on understanding that. You know, we can churn out products, but unless you've really cemented that part, you don't have a brand that can sustain. And so I'd definitely say put aside a lot of time to the creative process in understanding thoroughly who she is and what you want to create, what's your purpose, what are your priorities, and the brand will then evolve completely organically. But yeah, just removing anyone else's opinion and just running with your gut instinct, and do your numbers, definitely do your numbers. Understand how to really thoroughly price your pieces too. It's very easy to undervalue yourself, but yeah, definitely numbers, understand your numbers. I think believing in yourself is, I think it's wonderful to be humble. I think it's a beautiful quality actually to, be very grounded, but at the same time I think, yeah, believing in yourself, and it would have saved me a lot of time if I believed in myself in certain scenarios in the past. But I look forward to, off the back of this store opening, actually refocusing on the creative process again. I think a lot of my time up until now has been spent on the logistics of the brand, the business side of it. And I look forward to really focusing and losing myself again in the design process. It's when I'm at my happiest, is when I'm able to just totally zone out and focus purely on that creative process. And yeah, I'm looking to create some real statement, impactful, epic gowns now. Yeah. You can follow us on Instagram. A lot of the developing parts of the store will be documented on our social media platform. You can also see all the other brands that are going to be included. So yeah, you can follow us on